Balls are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! Got it by Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the...
Everybody for you, them 6 men.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
You found a way, okay? All right, now, what I tell you, okay? All right, this decade is going to be the decade of the Vols. You got it?
Reddit did to do and welcome into more important issues. It is Wednesday, July 29th. It's pretty crazy. We're almost done with July.
Yeah, the summer's almost over.
I feel like we say that every time we get close, but the first couple months of this pandemic drug on, which was not fun. And then I feel like the last June and July have just flown. It's because it's been warm and we've been able to do fun activities. That's exactly why it's flown by.
Well, if there was an ending in sight to this coronavirus, it'd probably go by slow. But since there's no ending in sight, then we're still
still
rolling through.
So how does that make you feel about football season coming back?
I think they'll at least try it.
I'm glad the ACC, and I know I guess we can just kind of go ahead and start. Let me grab my notes here. I guess we can just go ahead and start with that and talk about how, Tennessee has the opportunity to move up their Charlotte game if it's played. Right now, the SEC hasn't announced that non-conference games won't be played. Right now, the schedule is as it is, even though the ACC did release that I guess their format for 2020. But Tennessee has, and I think I said last week, I think I said the NCAA should do that. Should allow every team to move it up a week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What are you? I guess move it up a week since you can, but I don't know if it changes anything for you.
Yeah, I think you have an extra week to prepare for a top 5 opponent. I think that's kind of the only thing going for you. I mean, you have kind of veterans all over the place. It's not like you're trying to work in a true freshman. I think it works out better for Oklahoma.
Right.
But you get to see, them play a opponent against Missouri State, and then you get 2 weeks to prepare. I don't think that hurts you. I don't think it necessarily really does anything for you.
Yeah, I guess since you're given the week, take it. But I don't think it's a big deal. I
think it's good to start the season a little earlier.
Yeah,
and
that's
because that would be a month from today.
Yeah, and as far as COVID goes, testing and making sure everyone's healthy, especially when you'll interact with different people on that game day, that game week. Yeah, I guess just move it up a week gives you better time for testing and whatnot, and we'll see. I don't know.
I saw something today. It was like the only certainty is the uncertainty.
Yeah,
that's basically it.
It's very accurate. So we'll see. Tennessee has that opportunity to move Charlotte up. That would be August 29th. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, it'd be a week or a month from today.
Okay. And
that kind of gets me going.
I don't think I like it because that almost guarantees me if they move it up a week. I don't think there'll be fans. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, but I'm kind of leaning toward that too.
But I'm holding on to a little bit of hope. But if they move it up a week, I feel like they're saying, at least for that game, no fans.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only. Especially because the mayor. So yesterday, we will talk about high school sports. I will not. I'll save that for the segment. So yesterday, the governor allowed the exemption. He'd already given the exemption to pro and college sports. Then he gave it to high school sports, and then less than an hour later, the Knoxville City mayor wants to go back to essentially parts of phase 1, like gatherings no bigger, maybe phase 2. Mm-hmm. No, gatherings no bigger than 25, I think, and close down bars, stuff like that. So I'm just really curious kind of what happens the next couple days in those meetings. So you'll be paying attention to those because those could impact. I mean, it'll definitely impact fans. There'll be no fans. I mean, there's just no way. There's just no way.
Yeah, for high school sports?
For Tennessee.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if there is, it's going to be like what?
I can't even give you a good number.
Not even a fourth.
Here's my thing. I volunteer as tribute. let one fan in from each team. They're allowed to take in whatever they can carry to make noise or to help themselves. To give themselves a competitive advantage.
They carry me.
I can sure, I can carry you, and you might have to carry a 24-pack of beer too. I think I can carry you and a 24-pack of beer and a 24-pack of beer myself. That will help me be loud enough, and I think that'll carry the Vols to victory. It's funny. Will they let family in?
I don't know. See, if you let any, like, that would be the first ones to get in. I would think.
I would hope.
So yeah, I just don't like. How are you gonna if you only let 20,000 in there?
Yeah.
How do you like pick who gets? Is it just by donation? Because that's kind of like, oh, you donate the most money, or you have the most money, so you can get to come in here.
I think you broke part of the code. I think it's gonna be maybe family and the top dogs.
Yeah.
I think the people who have the suites will have no problem getting into their suites this fall.
Oh yeah.
So it's the way it goes.
Yeah.
It's the way it goes. So Tennessee, but just kind of recap real quick. Tennessee does have the option to move that first game against Charlotte up. Oklahoma has already done so. They were the first to apply for the waiver, so they'll be moving that game up a week. Tennessee, we'll kind of see. It may have to do with kind of Charlotte too. They'll have to, because your travel plans will definitely, and they just heard about it. They could have been preparing in the background, kind of waiting to hear from the NCAA.
Well, they want to get paid, so they're like, we'll do, yeah.
Probably. You're probably right.
Yeah.
They probably will do whatever it takes to get paid. But yeah, I don't know how that'll work out. I'm sure you'll, so you said it's a month from today, so I think you got to know in the next week.
Do you think, I think it's funny, and I don't know if this happened the way that it did, but Oklahoma got that to try to maybe get a competitive advantage, and then Tennessee gets to do it too.
If they want to. I kind of assumed that. I figured you couldn't grant that to two teams and not grant it to everybody. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, you do everything you can for a competitive advantage. Yeah. So I imagine they thought they were getting some kind and will not. Well, they may still get what they think is competitive advantage, but Tennessee could opt out of that. They may not choose to take the waiver.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I do want to note that Virginia Tech corner Caleb Farley, who's a projected first-round draft pick, is the first NCAA player to opt out of playing the 2020 season. So you've already. He said he's seen what I'm sure. Hopefully, he's talked to people. He didn't just see the pros doing it and decided not to.
I watched his video. His mom passed away from an illness in 2018, so he's like, I just don't want to put
anyone else in danger.
Anyone else at risk.
Yeah. So that that's interesting. I'm sure that'll be kind of a snowball effect. We'll see what that does. Maybe any Tennessee players. I think there's a couple that potentially could. You'll find out. I think they already would have, but there's always potential. Right. Also, so NFL players are doing it. A lot of Patriots are doing it.
Nate Soldier's doing it.
Adam Schefter tweeted that he got off the phone with the GM, who jokingly said, "What is Bill Belichick scheming?" I don't think there's a joke about it. If Bill Belichick's doing it, he's got a reason. What's he got in that bag of tricks of his? He's saving everybody to get Lawrence next year.
Or no, he's just gonna get R.J. Stern from last chance.
Or that. He's waiting for Stern and Lawrence to come to the draft so he can pick him up and have another Super Bowl winning team. There's something fishy going on in New England. I'd like to know what it is.
Yep.
I'd like to. He's tanking for Lawrence is what he's doing.
That's smart. I would.
Cam Newton on my roster. I don't know if I would, but yeah, it's smart.
Right, but I mean, you have if Cam Newton, Jared Stidham, or Trevor Lawrence. I think I know who I'm going with.
I'd take Trevor Lawrence at this point.
Yeah.
Real quick, we will get. So let's get into the whole show though. We are going to do the Arkansas preview. We're going to talk a little bit about Vol Day. We talked about it on Sunday, but the stripes are back. They look beautiful. I love them. I'm pumped. And we got to see pictures of everybody.
Everybody.
All the freshmen. And they're orange.
Yeah, and some new numbers maybe.
Really? Yeah. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about some recruiting targets. High school football is back as of now. We'll talk about that. MLB is still back. The Marlins tried to ruin it for everybody, of course.
Yeah, they would. The worst team in baseball would try to ruin it for everybody.
Of course. So, but we're back. Questions. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We're watching them. If we don't answer them right away, stick with us. We'll get to them. If we miss them, we got a part of the show that we do answer, specifically just answer questions. So put them in there. We'll try to get them right away. If not, we'll get them. You just have to watch the show longer. That's how it goes. And then our segments. My new favorite, Florida Man. Can't wait to do it. We already got a Go Rocky Top in here. Actually, before we started the show, I appreciate it, Justin Sanday. Dropping the Go Rocky Top before the show starts. That's big. That's big.
He was in there last week.
Yeah, he was. And then SEC Dog asked how's Catfish and where's he been? I think Catfish is doing well. I don't know where he's been. I haven't talked to him in a while, actually.
Yeah, I know he went back home to, I think, maybe spend some time with some family.
Yeah, so we need to call him.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in a while, unfortunately. And, hey, before we do jump into the Arkansas preview, Landon's got some people to tell us about that make this show possible.
Yeah, so go check out our sponsors, Hound Dogs and Tennessee Tap House. They do a great job of helping make this show possible. So go check them out. Tennessee Tap House is a great hangout spot. Hound Dogs has some great Tennessee gear. No, any Tennessee fan can't have enough Tennessee gear.
Right.
So
Right.
go check them out. Also, we had a lot of people that were kind of in here for the first time the other night. So I do want to say we started this podcast in 2016, right before the Music City Bowl. Me and Caleb and a couple others started. So me and Caleb kind of stuck it out, if you will. And we just have stayed with it through this whole time. We did it because we're Tennessee fans. We've always been. We're from South Knoxville. And we just love the Vols. So that's why we started this podcast. So for those who don't know us, that's who we are. That's why we started, just to have a little bit more to talk about, have a little bit of hobby, a little bit, give us a reason to get mad and talk about Tennessee sports. So there it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can find us on every social media platform, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and then you can listen to the podcast anywhere. So we do the live shows on Sundays and Wednesdays, and then you can find the podcast starting on the one from the show the night before, starting on Monday morning and Thursday mornings.
Yep.
So make sure you do that. And then we got YouTube with a ton of content too, and we'll have a lot more content during the season. So make sure you're already tuned into that and you can check that out.
Yep. We're just waiting for that season, man.
Oh, I'm pumped. Even if we can't be in the stadium, it's okay. I have a kind of, dude, the people are like, I don't want college football if there's no fans in the stadium. What?
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever
It's
heard
so
of.
dumb. It's so dumb.
You should not let them in the stadium.
I agree.
No matter how much money that they're throwing at you, if they're willing to say that, then
Wholeheartedly agree. Wholeheartedly agree. Hey, before we get into the Arkansas preview, I got something to show you.
What's up?
Well, okay, hold on. I gotta get your speaker turned on here. Can you hear me through the microphone?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Got a little little treat courtesy of Sam Pittman here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody else can hear it, so I'll just have to play it for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's a 1 minute long video.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So, did he?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go Dogs.
Yes, sir.
It's so bad. It's good.
Yeah, and people eat that shit up.
Did he do that at Tennessee? I know social media wasn't very popular when he was here.
I don't know. I feel like
He was here with
adopted
Cheney,
that.
right?
Yes.
I assume so. I guess I should.
Yeah, I think he just
Check
adopted that. While at Georgia, maybe. But dude, oh
What does that have to do with anything?
my god.
The fact that he can take it from school to school should show just how stupid it is.
Very dumb. Very dumb. But hey, if it works, it works.
I mean, yeah. I guess you're right. If he gets recruits because of it.
Yeah, I mean, apparently,
Here's the thing.
People love Sam Pittman though. They really do.
They do. And here's the thing. He is going to fit in Arkansas really, really well. You know why?
Oh yeah. I mean, Arkansas. What are they known for? Freaking power football and linemen, and that's what Sam Pittman's all about.
Oh man, it's like you said, it's incredible that it's a thing. But here's the thing: nobody can win in Arkansas. I shouldn't say nobody. I don't know. Arkansas went 2-10 last year. The fact that Tennessee gets them on their schedule is a blessing.
Yeah, we'll take that
Every
year.
blessing.
I will I know people were like, yeah, we'll play. I like the Alabama rivalry. I would gladly take Arkansas over Alabama.
I mean, yeah, I would rather play them than Alabama.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get rid of the Alabama rivalry. Because, hey, you know what? Tennessee's going to get...
One day.
That's what somebody commented on my TikTok. Let's shut up for the people. Somebody commented on my TikTok and was like, too bad you can't beat Alabama. I was like, yeah, I know. I'm well aware.
Thanks.
I don't know what kind of trash talk you thought you'd get away with there. This whole thing was about being a sad Tennessee fan. So I don't know what you.
Thanks for fueling the fire a little bit there, bud.
You know what's not as bad as being Tennessee, or what's worse than being a Tennessee fan? Being an Arkansas fan who watched Chad Morris lead your team.
Dude. And like Arkansas wasn't that great beforehand, and he ran that program into the ground.
And should they? I don't know. This is a dumb comment. It's dumb. This is the dumbest thing I'm gonna say ever. I mean, I guess you have to give him more time because he was trying to run a completely different system than Bielema.
Yeah.
So I mean, he didn't have guys that could run a system effectively in there. But you also can't keep an SEC coach that went 2-10.
No, and that's the bad thing about Arkansas. It's the second worst job in the SEC.
Yeah.
Other than Vanderbilt.
You left the Mississippis out of there?
I mean, right now, they're better than Arkansas.
That's fair.
Maybe like historically, maybe Arkansas is better than Mississippi State.
I'd say so. I don't know.
But yeah, right now, I mean, it's the second worst job.
Yeah, it's not a fun one to have. It's I mean, I'm surprised. I guess because Sam Pittman was an offensive line coach, hadn't been a coordinator, they're able to go get him. I'm surprised they could even hire him away from Georgia.
Yeah, he was associate head coach, I'm pretty sure as well. But I think that's a good hire because, like I said, he fits in. Like they're gonna be if they want to play big boy football in the trenches. Sam Pittman is gonna get them at least competitive.
Right, but what is he going to do with the offense? And I know people like the Kendall Briles hire for the offense, but what is that? He's not a proven coach.
No.
I was going to be happy. I was going to be content, I guess, if Tennessee hired him before they hired Chaney. But, I mean, I wouldn't have. Chaney was a much better hire than Briles, I'll say that.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, who are you going to get at Arkansas?
I mean, that's a good point. I don't know
but
that.
They did get Barry Odom, which I think is a good coordinator hire. He's not a great head coach, but he's a good coordinator.
I mean, I don't think he's a terrible head coach, but yeah, he's a pretty good coordinator. I think he just got a. Did he make the College Football Hall of Fame maybe as a player, or maybe he was up for?
Oh, maybe.
I don't remember, but I mean, no, he's a good defensive coordinator. I think that was a really good hire. I think you kind of got lucky that Missouri was firing him for whatever reason that they gave. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, I think you got to give them, like you said, maybe some time. I mean, they went 4-18 under Chad Morris. And then they had like a week before early signing day, they had 3 commits.
Dude, that was it's just bad. That's a bad program.
Yeah, and somehow, some way, Sam Pittman got enough players to put together a number 30 class.
Yeah,
in recruiting. I don't know how he did it, but he did. I think he got a guy from. They kept the number 1 player in Arkansas. I'm pretty sure.
What does that mean?
Blaine Toll, I think, and then they got a couple 4-stars from maybe one from Missouri and one from Oklahoma. They did hit the transfer portal.
Yeah, I mean
they got the Dan Mullen approach and hit the transfer portal.
That's kind of a good thing though in the opposite of Dan Mullen. they were the complimentary, the plus minus to Dan Mullen.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to do that when you're building a program though. Now you got to hit that transfer portal hard.
You got to try to win now. I don't think they are, but try.
I mean, Jerry Pruitt hit the transfer portal much harder in his first 2 years than he has this year. And even this year, he went. You're talking about a guy, pretty impactful in Velas Jones Jr. that was a transfer.
Yeah.
So and then you got Cade Mays, And then, of course, you've got, which I think he was just a, competent coach away from coming home. And then you got, what's the Nebraska guy's name? That'll be eligible next year.
Yeah, I don't. Miles Jones.
And he,
or Miles, maybe.
I think he was a
3-star.
Is he a 3-star? I was almost thinking he was a 4-star coming out of high school. Okay. But yeah, I mean, you got to win immediately. Hitting the transfer portal is your best bet. And yeah, like you said, Sam Pittman did it. But this, and they, I mean, getting Jalen Hurts not Jalen Hurts, Philippe Franks is big.
Yeah, I mean, that was their whole problem last year on offense was they played 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, they couldn't.
And they found a pretty competent one, didn't they? And then he had a shoulder injury. Is that what it was?
Yeah, something like that. I think they threw they had 21 turnovers, so they were very turnover friendly for opposing defenses. And I think 15 of them were interceptions.
Dang.
So not good quarterback play.
Not good quarterback play. And I mean, I think, I will be shocked if Philippe Franks is not the starting quarterback day one.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think they got Malik Hornsby as a true freshman, which I don't think he plays. I think if Felipe Franks is healthy, I think he's a starter. I mean, he accounted for 31 touchdowns 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, and he's a guy that you're probably talking about. Is probably one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC right now. Again, I'll repeat it like we have by default. There's no standout quarterbacks right now that are just best player easily.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you got to go Mac Jones, Kyle Trask, and Philip Franks. Those are the 3 front runners, kind of probably by a long shot right now.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're just out. None of those 3 are Heisman candidates, which is typical for the best quarterback in the SEC. And that's not the case with these guys. But Philip Franks, that's a good pickup for Arkansas. That's a much needed pickup. You talked about 5 guys played there last year. That's a big pickup. And then, of course, you've got Raheem Boyd. And we'll talk about Last Chance U a little bit. We were talking about before the show starts. He rushed for, I think, almost 1,200 yards last year. He's a baller.
Yeah, 8 touchdowns. And I don't think they have. I think they have maybe an Arizona State running back transfer that I think sat out last year. But Chase Hayden's gone. So that's a big loss. That was kind of your second back.
Where did he end up transferring to? Did he announce yet?
ECU.
ECU, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then you got Trey Knox, who was the kid from Blackman in Murfreesboro, was a freshman last year. I think he had 385 yards, 3 touchdowns on 28 catches. So a good freshman season. I know he kind of dealt with some injuries later on in the year, but that's going to be a weapon for him. And I'm interested to see how many playmakers does Felipe Franks has, because he had quite a bit at Florida. I mean, he accounted for 31 touchdowns, but how's he gonna do with a team that doesn't have a ton of playmakers?
Right.
And do they let him throw it? Do they let him, kind of be him? He's 6'6". He's pretty athletic. I think he rushed for 8 touchdowns 2 years ago. And 300-something yards, so had pretty good numbers rushing. He ran pretty much anytime he wanted to against us.
Right. And I think he would have been – I think Florida would have been fine had he – I don't think Kyle Trask was like Florida's saving grace. They got lucky. Nothing like that. I think Philip Franks would have held that role just fine and probably doesn't end up transferring if he is healthy all year last year.
Yep. But that defense was absolutely terrible. In total defense, they were the worst in the SEC, worse than Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt was absolutely terrible.
Oh, I mean, I know I like the Barry Odom hire, but I think it's gonna be another year of atrocious.
Yeah, they're gonna struggle for sure. 221 rushing yards per game is what they gave up on defense. That was worse than the SEC. 5.47 yards per carry.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
They gave up 36.8 points per game.
I mean, maybe they get some new coach effect that rubs off on them or something, but I don't see it being a pretty year for Arkansas at all. Let me pull up their schedule real quick. And they do not have a friendly schedule, which I guess we should talk about this because it could affect Arkansas' schedule. Well, no, probably not, because they played Notre Dame early, so they got Nevada September 5th, which could be moved up a week, and then Notre Dame September 12th. That's at Notre Dame.
Yep, that's tough.
I mean, ain't gonna be pretty.
No, and I think they lost. They lost 4.
They're good.
Defensive linemen that were seniors. So that's. I mean, and they were terrible.
Right.
So it's not like, I guess, you lose a ton, but you're having to replace guys that played for you last year.
They were your starters last year.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's not like you went out and got a bunch of star-studded dudes to
Right.
replace them.
Yeah, you're going to be relying on some of those freshmen, some of those transfers to come in and have an immediate impact. And I just think with Tennessee's offensive line, I think you dominate the line of scrimmage like everybody else did against Arkansas last year.
Yeah.
I mean, just run it down their freaking throat. They can't stop it.
No, I mean, this should be a game that the running backs and the offensive line have no issue with. So
Get the walk-ons in.
Yeah.
Let's get Chip Omer.
You can only travel 66, so yeah. But hey, get all 66 guys in. Why not? Just for fun.
Yeah.
So
Everybody
they play Nevada, then they go to Notre Dame, then they go to Mississippi State, then they play Texas A&M, then Charleston Southern, then Alabama, then LSU, then Tennessee.
Yeah, they desperately need to break that SEC curse. They did not win a single SEC game last year.
I mean, that Tennessee's going to be their best chance, and maybe Mississippi State.
Yeah,
Mississippi State or Tennessee's going to be their best chance in the first half of the season.
Missouri maybe at the end.
Yeah, they're going to be 2-5 going into Tennessee. They could finish the year. It could be another 3-9 year.
Well, and they're probably looking at Tennessee and saying we play Alabama the week before. They have a bye week, so they're thinking, Tennessee's going to be beat up. We have a bye week.
Alabama should. I mean, will they be able to do the same things as Alabama? No. Will Alabama expose some spots? For sure.
Yeah. You should go in there to Fayetteville and absolutely demolish them.
No, it shouldn't be a problem because, I mean, even, like you said, you'll be beat up, but it shouldn't be a problem for you. You should have some. You should be able to run the ball, whether it's Eric Gray, Todd Chandler, or some of the younger guys. The younger guys should not have a problem in this game.
And the last year, the Alabama game gave us life. So,
You finished.
Maybe it'll
very
wake
strong.
us up a little bit.
Exactly. You finished very strong after that one. I don't worry about it too much. It's just a bad. I mean, we've gotten lucky with the SEC West opponents the past couple of years.
Yep.
The last 2 years, and then I guess you could chalk Auburn up to lucky side since we beat them, but I know no one wanted to play Auburn when it was that time.
Right. And if we do go to the 10 game, it'll likely be Ole Miss and LSU.
Yep.
Which I'd way rather have LSU this year than last year.
Yeah.
And then Ole Miss, they're struggling.
See, if it's Ole Miss and LSU, I've told you, I don't know if I've said it on the show, if it's Ole Miss LSU, you'll play them again next year. So I don't know if they'll roll back, which would be awesome, and you play Mississippi State and Auburn.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
I wouldn't mind that one at all. But if they roll it forward, I mean, you do get Ole Miss. But if they roll it forward, you go and you play those teams because the idea of it was to travel teams and travel fans to each of the opposite division sites. So that's why I'm not sure how they'll roll it.
It'd be interesting. I mean, if they let like 20,000 people in the stadium still,
then yeah, maybe they roll it forward and just keep everything the same.
Going.
Yeah, that's possible. It's definitely possible. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's that's gonna be one interesting thing to see how they kind of handle those rotating opponents the next couple years if they do go to a 10-game schedule, and maybe that doesn't happen for the SEC, but I guess we can go ahead and kind of talk about that. Because is there anything else you want to say about Arkansas other than they're a bad team? And
it's definitely like
piss out of them.
We should have beat Felipe Franks while he was at Florida. Hey, you have a chance to beat him at Arkansas. go dominate him at Arkansas.
He had to get shipped off to an absolutely terrible team for you to beat him.
It's tough.
Maybe he still works his magic. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, so the ACC announced that they would be going to a 10 conference schedule and then one non-conference opponent. And they would only be, there's no divisions this year. I guess I can go ahead and read all that off real quick. I think I screenshot it. So the first games will take place the week of September 7th, September 12th. Mentioned the 10 games plus one. All non-conference opponents selected by the respective schools must be played in the home state of the ACC institution. So yeah, that said that. And they must meet the medical protocol requirements that are agreed upon by the ACC, which I think will probably be most of the conferences. I imagine will agree to something similar.
Yep.
The 11 games will be played over at least 13 weeks, with each team having 2 open dates. There will be one division. Notre Dame, I think this is the interesting part. Notre Dame will play a 10-game schedule and be eligible to compete in the 2020 ACC Football Championship game. This is where I think helps the ACC. All television revenue for the 2020 season, including Notre Dame's home schedule or home game broadcast, will be shared equally by all 15 institutions. So they do have 14 teams. And
So make them join the conference.
I mean, yeah, I don't disagree. And then the ACC Championship game will be played on December 12th or 19th at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. It'll be featured by the top two teams with the highest conference win percentage. All 15 will continue to be a part of ACC's bowl selection. There you go. So,
I'm just like, what does Notre Dame have on the ACC? They got to have something, right? Notre Dame just...
money.
Well,
Cash.
I mean, is it just like...
Cash.
I mean, like, good Lord.
They
Just
got
make them do it. You have the leverage. You have...
Notre Dame's got the leverage over the ACC. Over SEC, over Big Ten probably would have leverage over Notre Dame. They don't have it over the ACC. ACC has a network, but it didn't generate the kind of money NBC's broadcast of Notre Dame is.
Well, yeah, but they're ACC and everything else. So, you could just kick them out, and if they didn't have... If you only did conference only, Notre Dame would be screwed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they would be.
So, I mean, I don't know. Make them join a freaking conference. I'm so sick of Notre Dame. I hate Notre Dame.
They're not going to join a conference until it ruins their college football chances, and it hadn't yet. Because they haven't been competitive in the playoff era.
Yeah, they're the most overhyped team every single year.
I haven't heard anything about them this year.
I'm sure you will. It'll be them or Michigan who will be the most overhyped team in the country. I guarantee it. Or Texas.
Texas, for sure. Texas is back, always.
I just hate I hate their uniforms. I hate that gold helmet with no sticker on it. I hate it.
Their uniforms would be... I love the gold helmet. Their uniforms would be great if they could pick a color of gold. Nothing matches. That's my
true.
issue.
That's true, too.
That's my issue. Also, the Notre Dame end zones are the dumbest thing in sports. It's just diagonal lines.
Yeah,
I don't give a crap about
parking
diagonal.
spaces.
Yeah, I don't give a crap about diagonal lines. Find something else to put in your end zones, like checkerboards. Something pretty and good looking. Yeah, I mean, I understand why Notre Dame has the leverage over the ACC because they have way more money in TV revenue than... Maybe not way more. They have more money. Like, the ACC is going to benefit just as much as Notre Dame is in this deal from this year.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I'm just, like, you could have just made them... Like, they're basically in the conference anyway. Just make them do it. Then you get all that revenue every single year.
Yeah.
Ugh. Oh, well. I don't care. They suck anyway. I hope we play them. We'll kill them. Probably not.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't...
Probably not, but hey,
I'm not willing to take
But you
that
know
bet.
you're going to talk yourself into a win.
Oh, every freaking week. But I'm not willing to put my mouth there right now. My mouth right there. Yeah. That's oh man. Also, Chip Kelly's a douche. Is he still at Notre Dame? I don't even know.
Chip Kelly?
Yeah.
He's
not Chip Kelly.
Brian Kelly.
Brian Kelly.
Yeah, I think he is.
He's a douche. He wishes he was Chip Kelly. Even now that Chip Kelly's sucking.
And then Butch Jones wishes he was Brian Kelly.
Butch Jones really wishes he was Brian Kelly. Yeah, if he just stayed at Cincinnati for like 7 more years, he'd be Notre Dame's head coach.
Yeah, there you go.
Never have to worry about him. Valde. Unless you want us to mention anything else. I mean, while we're on the topic of college football.
That's all I got for now. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. And people worry about and what are we going to do about fans? I think that's put on the season isn't even a for sure thing right now. So the fan thing is probably the last thing they're talking about.
Right.
Because you're trying to keep players and staff safe now. Because I don't think college football can afford to not have a season. Now, if they go into the spring, that's something different, something totally...
Right.
That's a whole different list of problems.
Right.
But I think college football has to at least try.
Yeah, and I think you're gonna see conferences that generate a lot of money, ACC and SEC, that need this money to continue a lot of athletics. You're gonna see them give it their best go.
Yeah, and I think the college football is kind of looking at the MLB right now and seeing kind of how they're doing everything. Because it would be very similar. You're not going to be able to bubble these teams. So how do you regulate it? How do you prevent, or I wouldn't even say prevent, how do you keep it from spreading?
Right.
So, but the good thing about college football is that it's once a week.
Yeah.
That are games. MLB's playing just about every day.
And playing with illnesses because they're idiots. Not the MLB's handled it pretty well. The Marlins specifically. Golly, what a mess. Oh, well, I'm trying to read this real quick just while we're in here about Notre Dame. They're claiming that they don't make more money than they would as an ACC thing. So I guess it's not. I don't know.
Well, the donors, because that's where they make all their money, right? Is the donors?
I mean, I'm sure they make more money. Well, maybe probably not just the donors, but apparently they only make $15 million a year in TV money, which is absurdly low. I feel like.
Yeah. So I mean,
maybe what they do.
Donors are just going to take away their money if they're not an independent. That doesn't make any sense.
Maybe what they do like is playing every. I mean, and it's kind of. I do think it's kind of cool how they can play everyone across the country every year, but. I don't know. I don't really know. I'll have to read all this eventually, but they're acting. I mean, they wouldn't do it if it didn't benefit them financially, right?
Right.
Okay. They're claiming it doesn't, but yeah, that doesn't make sense. So how many games do they get to play in the ACC each year? Notre Dame. Is it 4, 5?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess they had to start doing that though because people were stopping scheduling them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the deal, that they would go everything else besides football in the ACC if they played 5 football games in the ACC.
Gotcha. I wonder what ACC teams truly think about it. They probably don't care because then they don't have to worry about them playing in the championship.
Right.
So they probably like it.
And it's going to be a top 5 opponent that you have a chance to beat because they're not very good.
Not that good. Not top 5. When's the last time they've been top 5?
Probably the last time they went to the national championship.
Was that 2011?
Or did they go?
2012?
Did they go to a? They didn't go to a college football playoff.
I don't think so. I don't know. Could be wrong.
Top 10, top 15.
Yeah, whatever it may be.
Very overhyped.
Yep. Valde though.
Valde. So I think the biggest kind of talk was seeing Harrison Bailey in that number 15 jersey.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed we didn't get to see some Crocs though. That sucked.
You think he's got checkerboard Crocs?
If not, he needs to. Oh, they finished. It says they finished number 5 in 2018.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Dang. They also went 4-8 in 2016.
Gross.
And then 2012 was when they lost to Alabama in the national championship.
I mean, that got Tennessee fans excited just to see Harrison Bailey. I mean, everybody loves the backup quarterback, but everybody really loves the freshman quarterback.
Oh yeah.
No matter who it is, what rating, freshman quarterback has all the hype
for sure. Those are the 2 greatest things to be in college sports, or I guess sports in general, is the backup quarterback, and then especially the backup quarterback that no one's ever seen.
Yep.
So that's the sweet spot.
100%. And then Trayvon Flowers is wearing the number 1 jersey. I don't know what that means because I know Bryce Thompson was wearing maybe 3 last year and had to go back to 20 due to special teams.
I was about to say, because Velus Jones Jr. is almost certainly going to be on special teams.
Right. And he was wearing the number 1 jersey.
And I can't imagine Trayvon Flowers isn't going to be on any return teams.
Right.
That's pretty crazy.
So one of them's going to have to get. And Velus Jones Jr., I think he was number 13 listed on the roster.
Gotcha.
So I don't know who gets, or I would assume Trayvon Flowers would get it over because he's been here longer.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how that works. And then Jalen Hyatt, he was wearing number 11. So he was, I think when they put out the numbers, he was going to wear 21, but now he's number 11.
I like it. Love a good number 11.
Yeah, it's a good number.
It's a great number.
Great number. And he also, did you see the picture of Jalen Hyatt?
So I pulled up a picture, though, of his dad the day before he went to UT. He doesn't look that much bigger than the day his dad dropped him off.
So
apparently he's put on like 15 or 20 pounds.
Right. So he looks a lot bigger than what he looked like in the state championship.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, I was looking at, so I was gonna show the picture, because they were saying that he had put on a lot of weight. I think it was VR2 that said it. Up 10 to 15 pounds. His dad had a good tweet. I'm sure you saw it. It said, well, Coach Pruitt is picking up the grocery bill, so we told him to eat, young man, eat. But yeah, so I looked at, here, I can pull it up for everybody, actually. Show it to you, too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a drastic difference or not. I don't know if it's any difference at all. But,
I mean, he looks more prepared than I thought he would to take, like, hits in the SEC.
He looked...
Watching him during the state championship, I'm like, man, he's going to need to put on some weight. But dude, he looked, I mean...
Let's see here. What's his dad's name? Jamie?
Yep.
Okay, so
I think that's good. Put on some
Yeah,
weight. Keep the speed. Keep the speed.
Right. If it's true...
yes,
sorry,
sir.
guys. If it's true, that's big time for sure. There we go. So here's Jamie's page, and I mean, all you can really see is, oh, maybe that's not the picture I was looking at. Where did I find it at? Yeah, I mean, he looks bigger there than he does in the state championship. So
Yeah.
I wonder how much weight he put on in the summer, and then how much he put on.
Yeah, I mean, he
Since
does
he's
have
gotten
abs,
at
so
UT.
I mean that he doesn't like his. He looks a lot bigger than I thought he was going to look.
Right.
So that's
And then
all that
here's-
matters. I
for
mean, he
everybody
looks.
on Twitter. On watching the live video.
Yeah,
here's the
when
picture of
I
him in
saw
pads.
that, I was just like, okay, he's prepared to contribute right away.
Right. Here, we can just kind of go through these pictures of... Velus Jones Jr. did a Q&A, too, if you haven't gotten to watch that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
They've also got Tyler Barron in the number 9.
Yep.
Yeah. so-
Morven Joseph is in number 19. And then Amari Thomas is in 58.
See,
So,
Morven Joseph, I really wanted to wear, like, 0. I really wanted him to be in 0, because he's a big dude.
He is a big dude.
You want the big dudes in the small.
I would like Amari Thomas to wear 0. Big O.
Yeah, that would be good.
Fun.
That'd be really good.
And then the pants, man. The pants look
Oh,
so
yeah.
good.
Here, let me pull up a good picture of the pants here, because they look fantastic.
Are you doing this all from your phone?
Yeah.
Dope. Caleb's technical.
I'm getting there. That's a good picture of him.
Very tech
That just
savvy.
that looks great.
It does look, dude, that orange. That dude it's just something about the orange, man. It just pops.
It does. And I love the single stripe with the checkerboard. And I think Ben McKee even said he liked it better. I'm not saying it's not ugly. But I love the double stripe on the pants. I think I said this last show. Just throw the checkerboard stripe on the helmet.
Yeah.
I'm tech savvy. I'm gonna freaking destroy my phone.
Yeah, but you always did that.
Yeah.
You always threw your phone.
Yeah. But no, I love that look. That's a fantastic look. Yeah,
That's good.
Can't complain. Yeah, that's a...
Let's get into some recruiting.
Let's do it.
So Tennessee didn't get Peyton Page, the coveted kid.
Did you know they didn't get Peyton Page?
Huh?
Did you know they didn't? Because I couldn't tell from the video. I was like, it's orange. It looks
And white.
I was like, it looks Clemson orange, but it's orange, so I'm going to wait until
Yeah.
I get clarification here.
Yeah. I was with you too. I did need to make sure on that. I don't think there was a big surprise there. I think it was Clemson kind of looked like the team the whole time. I mean, that was where he was getting crystal balls for months and months before. And Clemson usually fills up their class, a lot sooner than this.
Right.
But this year, things are different. So they apparently waited on him to make his decision. He picked Clemson. I mean, you can't really blame the kid with the track record that Clemson has with defensive linemen and the draft and everything like that. That's be hard to pass up for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and he's probably, you look at their defense, he's probably going to have a chance to get some early playing time still, and on a talented team. I feel like you jump at that opportunity.
Yeah.
I think everybody kind of thought Clemson was who it is, and everybody was kind of hanging on to hope that it would be Tennessee.
Yeah, there's always that hope that somebody's going to pull off
Right. Something amazing.
an upset. I mean, the Henry To'oTo'o was one that was like, no one has any clue where this kid's going.
Right.
Right. So, yeah, there's always that little hope. There's always that when it's for sure going to be Tennessee, there's always that little hope that, oh, man, what if he just picks Georgia?
Right.
Or somebody like that. But two guys Tennessee's kind of looking forward to maybe take his spot, I guess, and on that defensive line is Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, who I think they really like, probably more than Peyton Page. And then Tywan Malone. Malone is 6'5", 300 pounds, and is being recruited for football and baseball.
Oh, wow.
Big dude.
Say his weight again.
300 pounds.
What is it? I mean, does that mean? What's he going to play? What does he play in baseball?
First base.
Okay, that makes sense.
And he drops tanks.
I bet.
Yeah.
Can he throw the ball hard?
I don't know. I haven't seen him pitch, but
Mariano Rivera
I've seen
up there.
him hit. Oh no, you're thinking like CC Sabathia.
CC Sabathia, not
yeah.
Mariano Rivera is tall. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, CC Sabathia.
But yeah, could you imagine getting recruited by Jeremy Pruitt and Tony Vitello, like two
That's pretty legit.
recruiting
Yeah.
gurus? And he went to the same high school as JG.
Okay.
So
Interesting. Is it a Catholic high school? Right.
Yeah, Bergen
Don't know.
Catholic, something like that.
No clue.
And some other guys, outside linebacker, Samel Munden, offensive lineman, William Parker and Diego Pounds, and then cornerback Demarius McGee out of Pensacola, Florida. All those guys, Samel Munden's a 5-star, William Parker's a 3-star. The rest of those guys are 4-stars. So
You're going after talent.
yeah, so I mean, you only have 2 spots in this class, and you got a lot of guys that are available,
Right.
in positions of need. I look for, I'm not saying they keep all 23. I don't think that's gonna happen. There's gonna be some movement, but they'd like to add. You only got one offensive lineman. You're gonna have to add some more offensive linemen
Right.
in class. Don't want to do the Derek Dooley approach.
We are not doing that again.
That's all I got for recruiting.
Sweet. We had some questions. I got a question here. David Newcomb, he said, two questions, I guess, kind of. I'm playing the devil's advocate here. I don't see a football season, guys. I will cry. I don't know if that's a question. See, I understand what you're saying. I'll say this. I doubt, and we'll get into high school football here in just a second. I doubt we have a high school football season, at least an entire one. I think they will do everything in their power to make an SEC season happen. At the very least, Power 5 season.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree.
I don't know what it looks like if it's just the Power 5's playing, but
it's gonna be very tough for high schools to try to keep that under control.
yeah,
I mean,
they don't have the same resources colleges do.
Wasn't there already a kid at Alcoa Middle School that already?
Oh
got it?
yeah, like their first week back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's gonna be tough. I think they'll try it. I think that's good for if they are able to play a couple games. I think it's good for the community. Communities, need some good news, and high school football keeps people going.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I high school football is a lot based on if the schools stay in, so we'll see if that happens. Because TWSA is pretty much not gonna rule on anything.
I thought it was weird that the city mayor just did that right after Bill Lee did that.
Yeah, but it didn't sound like it had anything to do with football, so I don't really know if that was what it. Like, there's only 2 high schools I think in the city limits.
Yeah.
So
What are those?
I think Fulton and AE both fall in the city limits.
Oh, did they?
I'm trying to think if West would probably, maybe Bearden. There's a few. Bearden might be too far out. The city limits get weird out in West Knoxville, so I don't know how that
Works.
Yeah, I don't know who has jurisdiction there. And then he asked, do y'all know where I can get that face mask Harrison Bailey was wearing in the video? I believe it's only for, I believe those face masks were handed out to the players and coaches. So, sorry. It's a pretty sweet face
I think
mask.
you can get something similar at Alumni Hall or the Vol Shop. I'm sure they have something very similar to.
Rick Barnes was wearing his last night. So,
Hey.
yeah, that's actually how I recognized him, because his face was covered. I was like, that guy has one of the ones that athletes has on. That's Rick Barnes.
Where'd you see him at?
Aubrey's.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I had
one in
salmon
Maryville?
tacos. No, I went to the one off King's Spike.
Okay.
We were going to go to, what were we going to go to? We were going to go to Sono, and it was packed. So we started driving towards downtown. We're going to go to Gavino's Pizza. They're closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. So I went to Aubrey's.
Weird.
Yeah. The reason we settled on Aubrey's, I feel like that was weird how we got there. I remembered we had one of those things from South Oil. It was like buy one, get one free.
Oh, the
entrees.
cards.
Yeah. And
Okay.
It expires in like 2 days. So I was like, let's go use this at Aubrey's tonight. So
Dang it.
did a little date night.
I need to do that.
Yeah, it was good. I love their salmon tacos.
I had Aubrey's
I
last
can
night.
Mess them up.
But it was Raven brought it home for me. So.
Nice. So you got it for free.
Yeah, I
Sort
did.
of. Wow,
I
sort
did.
of. Yeah, I think you need to either get hired on the staff or recruited by Tennessee to get one of those. Those face masks are sweet. They are.
Yep.
They're good looking.
We had another question. Actually from your brother. Did you see
Oh,
this?
nice.
I didn't know if you saw that, but
Yeah, on Facebook.
yeah, he said, will we really make it through a full football season with MLB already suspending Marlin games? How long could we suspend football games and get the season in?
I mean, yeah, you could potentially see teams getting games canceled. Yeah, I would put a really, really strong. I got a hunch. Not every team will finish their season. Yeah, just like the Marlins won't finish this season. Those games weren't postponed; they were canceled.
Yeah, but they're supposed to resume, so that's
right. I just mean,
how do they do that? Do they just go off winning
the
percentage?
Marlins aren't going to make the
Oh
playoffs.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but it affected other teams.
correct. I don't know how that'll work. That's a really good question. Again, that's why I said the season's going to have an asterisk. It's going to have an asterisk. It's just the way it is. Because there's going to be teams that this ain't going to be the first team and the only team it happens to. Hopefully, though, they don't go and play a game and expose another team to it.
Yeah,
that's my hope.
I think the MLB did do a good job of just like not freaking out and just canceling the whole thing.
They do need to go fine every Marlins player and staff member
for going out.
They voted on whether they should play the game or not after knowing 14 or whatever players tested positive.
That's
effing
good.
Morons.
Yeah, they should just kick them out of.
That's the
baseball.
Dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And dude, like, yeah, that's super selfish because, yeah, the Marlins aren't going to make the playoffs. They're freaking terrible. They're the worst team in baseball besides maybe the Orioles.
It just doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make. They're stupid.
I think the bubble would have, I guess, benefited, but like, then again, like, how do you do that? How do you get all those?
See, I think you would have had to play it in like how they do spring training, like 3 or 4 bubbles. I think you would have to.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you have a facility that could play as because the NBA is not playing as many games. The MLS isn't playing as many games. Baseball's playing 60. Is that right?
Yeah.
60 games. You weren't gonna be able to.
Yeah.
Get all those in. On
and they had to know like people were gonna get it. Like that was a given. But the fact that they kind of they didn't freak out. They kind of just post.
It's the one good thing Rob Manfred's done in the last couple months.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean they did the right thing, and I mean let it play out. And you know what? If it keeps spreading, and I don't think it will, but if it does, then yeah, you reevaluate. But you shouldn't.
Yeah, and as soon as like this came out, it was like everybody freaked out. I was the first one. I was one of them that said it. I was just like, oh man, this is probably it for baseball. It might be it for college football. Because I'm sure college football is really keeping an eye on how they do this because it would be very similar in how you would do the traveling and all that other stuff.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Apparently, there just wasn't a plan in place for the Marlins to communicate to the league that they had an outbreak, which is absurd. So the league failed there. Rob Manfred did fail there. Yeah. It's bad. Very bad.
Yeah, 14 people. And
was it 14? Am I saying, is that the right
number? It included players and staff.
Okay.
But yeah, it was 14 in the last like couple days. But apparently they went out on the town. I'm just like, dude, like.
And that's why Miami is rampant.
My God.
Because you have, even, golly, dude, they're so stupid. Why are they, and like, if you want a baseball season, you can't be going out. Going to dinner, going to the grocery store, sure. But you can't be going out.
Yeah. I agree.
Insane. So let's talk about high school football's back. So Tuesday night, tonight's Wednesday, Tuesday night, pretty late for some reason, the governor decided he was going to lift the restriction, he was going to make an exemption for girls soccer and football for the fall. They can start on time. They do have to. So TWSAA did already put procedures in place last Wednesday on what they'd have to follow, even if the exemption was to be lifted. Those are, pretty basic. Temperature checks are required. No coaches, players, team personnel can, participate without having proper screening. If you they can't test, so it's just the questions. Or have you shown any symptoms? Have you been around anybody? Blah blah. Mm-hmm. If you answer yes, you can't compete. Some other things they put in place that are different from like going to the dinner. There's no scrimmages, jamborees, 7-on-7 practice, or other types of practice with other teams is permitted. Only team versus team competition can only take place at official contests. So no scrimmages this year, just playing games.
Okay.
Which I don't like that because you need. It's just not every team can have full inter-squad scrimmages. So now you're just throwing players out there without really getting, adapted to the environment.
Yeah,
So
that's
not
true.
Good. At contests, all coaches, players, team personnel, officials, administrators, and fans must have their temperatures checked before entering the facility. It's a little absurd because that's not going to happen. And it's not possible. And this, I think the rest of it's pretty much just all about fans. They're asking that fans be limited to a certain number.
Yeah, how are you gonna?
God, I mean, you've made it very hard on the schools, and I understand you have to, but it's going to make it different. Going to make it tough. No concession stand, concession stands are discouraged. So, the host school is responsible for providing staff to engage in frequent cleaning and sanitizing of restroom facilities.
That's never happened.
It's not going to happen, man. It's not possible.
Yeah.
No handshakes, post-game or pre-game. Here's my best one. The dressing room should be cleaned appropriately. Cleaned and sanitized. How many clean away locker rooms have you been in your life? In high school?
Okay, how many clean or sanitized ones were my own? Like,
Zero.
or the home team?
Yeah.
I mean, if they're not doing the home, they're definitely not going to do the away.
There were a few locker rooms that I will give credit to, man. They were always clean. Cherokee stands out to me. Whoever your guy was in charge of making sure they cleaned the locker room, you always did a fantastic job. That one stands out to me. Trying to think of any other ones that stand out to me. There were some nasty ones.
I mean, Cherokee was basically the only one that was like a locker room.
Yeah, it was their JV locker room. I think
Yeah.
that's why. Who was it? Who was it that had us in like a
Morristown was like a bathhouse.
Well, Morristown, we were in like their Morristown, when we played Morristown West, we had to walk from the basketball ones, which was like a half-a-mile walk
Yeah.
through the school. You had to go through the school to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were some crappy ones. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. I'll have to think of some other ones. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Carter was a locker room.
Huh?
Carter.
Yeah, it was
a
their
locker room.
basketball. It was tiny.
Yeah, it was.
I don't remember it being exceptionally dirty or anything, but it was tiny. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And then they're asking that you social distance on the sideline. Man, that ain't going to happen.
No.
They are extending the sideline, I think, end zone to end zone to try to allow
Oh, that's
it.
good.
Which I'm like, what's the reasoning for the 25 to 25? Do you know? Like, what's the difference in letting them go end zone to end zone?
I don't know. Maybe
Is it
it's
just like a historical thing?
maybe
Make it more difficult down in the
or
goal lines?
I'm trying to like maybe end zone to end zone. Maybe you don't want people right up on the pylon.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I didn't think about that. So maybe they're extending it to like the 10. I know they extended it. I don't know how far.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know why it is. Is it 25 to 25? Is that what it is?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
something like that. 20. I think it's 25-25.
I don't know why it is the way that it is.
Yeah. Why are you the way that you are? I don't know. But the good news is high school football is back. You're going to get it at least week 1. At least. So that's good news.
Yeah.
Well, you still have 3 weeks, I guess, for everything to hit the fan. But if nothing really, I mean, it can't get worse than it already is, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I just think it's something's gonna like you can't make sure all those kids are being safe throughout the week. Like there's no way to do that. I mean, it's gonna be
And you're banking on kids self-reporting.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be almost impossible to convince college kids to do that. You're not gonna be able to try to do it to high school kids.
Yeah, it's and then in the playoffs, if one player tests positive, you have to forfeit the game. In TLS boys guidelines. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. We'll see.
Yep.
And then it's gonna be very interesting. Yeah. Don't be doing these temperature checks in August though. You have a person walk a half mile to the gate in August, their temperature is going to be pretty dang close to 104.
Well, I was at the
Or
dentist.
100.4.
I was at the dentist this morning, and they made me everybody else got out, so I got out, and they made me wait outside because they can only have 2 people inside, 2 customers inside at once. So I waited outside for 5 minutes, and then the lady was checking my temperature. She's like, "Yeah, ours is probably going to be a little high," and I'm like, "Yeah, we've been outside."
You're right. That's usually how that outer body temperature works. Yeah, that's because I've seen some teams where players will be coming off the field going into the weight room, and I watch them test, and I'm like, they're gonna have a high temperature. They just got done running in 90-degree heat. If they have 100-degree fever, I will not be shocked in the slightest because they just got done running.
So dumb. I mean, it's, and you don't have there's a lot of people in charge that are dumb.
Yes.
At the high school level. So I mean, it's gonna be kind of fun to see how it all plays out.
Right. Ross Dellinger is talking about the SEC moving closer to conference only right now, and he says it looks like they will move to the next 2 in the rotation.
Yeah.
So they would move to
Ole Miss,
LSU.
Yeah.
That's just. I hope if that happens and there's no fans. If they're fans, I mean, yeah, whatever, keep it. But if there's no fans, I hope they play it again because I'd love to go to Ole Miss.
I want to go to LSU.
Yeah, LSU's away. Ole Miss is home.
Ole Miss would be a home.
LSU. Yeah, we wouldn't get to go to LSU for 12 more years.
Yeah, that sucks.
So,
that sucks.
Yep, that would be tough. So we'll see.
You got any more questions?
I don't have any more questions. If you guys have any right now, go ahead and drop them in here. I am observing carefully. But I guess we can go ahead and go to Florida Man.
Yeah, before we do that, I do want to mention Darryl Taylor signed his deal with the Seahawks 4-year. It's around a $6.7 million deal.
$1 million man.
Yeah, got a fat signing bonus. Yeah. Almost $2.5 million.
Yeah, it's not too shabby, man. Yeah. Not too shabby.
I mean, going from not making anything to a millionaire, that's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah,
it's got to be scary too because you're like, oh man.
Yeah, make sure you have the good financial advisor.
Yeah. Don't do what was the guy at Miami? Don't take his advice.
Miami.
The big donor guy.
I don't remember. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's good for Darryl Taylor though. I'm curious to see how impactful he can be. It's I think he's gonna have a really good chance to be with Jadeveon Clowney, probably most likely not signing with him again. I guess he still could.
What's he doing? Is
I don't
he just
know.
gonna pick?
Maybe he's gonna opt out of the season. I don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, I mean he's gonna have a chance to be immediately impactful. So we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. Florida Man.
I got a good one. You got a good one?
I've got a good picture. Mine's kind of funny, I guess.
So I have Otis Ryan.
Oh, you got a name.
Otis Ryan. Yeah, I'm 2 for 2 on names. I'm calling you out. If you're doing something stupid in Florida, I'm calling you out. So this guy's in Clearwater Beach.
Oh man, solely in a good place.
Florida. This is the article. A Florida man climbed atop a piece of equipment at Clearwater Beach Playground,
of course,
Sunday and yelled at a bunch of children in the area.
Just like obscenities? What was he yelling?
He yelled at the children, telling them where babies came from.
You know what? Those kids need to hear that.
You want to see the picture of this man?
So he probably wasn't even giving like a good biological lesson. He was probably yelling some stupid stuff.
Oh yeah.
Dang, I was really hoping what was his name? Otis
Ryan.
First off, does not look like an Otis.
No.
But man, I was really hoping to be
He looks more like a oh shit than a Otis.
I was really hoping to be like, you know what? Good for him, teaching our children, teaching the youth of America, about the basics of, I don't know what you call it, but those kids got to hear that.
Yeah.
And their parents aren't going to teach them. Their parents are lazy nowadays.
Yeah, I would.
School system ain't going to teach them. That's crazy.
I would like to encourage to not get face tats.
I
I feel like it doesn't give you a.
I love it. Will you text me that so I can show them?
Yeah.
Did you see my Florida man picture for today? Do you have it pulled up? You need to check it out.
I don't think so.
It's a fantastic one.
Did you tweet it?
No. It's up on our screen right now.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a guy that it's probably Tim Tebow's biggest fan.
Oh, it's an actual Florida man.
It is an actual. Well, it could be from a skit, I guess, but it's a man posing as an actual Florida man. Yeah. So it's a good one though.
You have a story?
Oh no, I don't have a story behind this one.
Okay.
But I do have.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy.
That's hot. I mean, that kind of looks like New from like a white redneck version of New from Last Chance U.
Who?
The Samoan dude.
Oh. I didn't know his name at first. Yes.
I think it's New. I think that's what
I
they
think
call
you're
it.
right. I think you're right. Okay, my Florida man. It is Florida man arrested after witnesses said he practiced karate on swans. So the police were called because a man was witnessed seeing kicking 2 swans, and apparently was seen which maybe stop him earlier, guys, but apparently was seen practicing his kicks, and then I don't know why you're practicing your kicks without swans if you're going to practice your kicks on swans.
Yeah.
The swans aren't probably going to fight you back. You don't need to be just overly prepared for the swans.
Yeah, I don't know about swans, but I've actually been bitten by a goose. So
Yeah, geese suck, dude.
yeah. So I don't know about the fighting nature in swans, but
Yeah, but I just love that he was practicing for the swans before he kicked the swans.
oh.
And then I'm going to guess, here's a picture of Otis. I just flashed
I mean, if
him
you're
up
going to
here.
do it, you got to do it right.
Yeah, well, I'm just what's the point in taking, going up there, and thank you for picking that up, and God, okay, now I'm ready for this swan.
Did he
Quit
kick
looking
it
at
in
me,
the head?
swan. I don't know. But I guess maybe he wasn't actually kicking the swans, or actually practicing karate. Maybe he was just mad at the swans. And the police show up and they're like, hey, man, what the are you doing?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just practicing my karate. And they, this is a normal, they're like, yep, sounds about right. Let's go.
Kicking swans.
It's amazing.
And telling where babies come from. Imagine this guy on top of the playground, the very top. Not on just top of the slide, the very top,
yours
where
is
kids
better.
don't go.
Yours is better. So I imagine it one of those that has a random place with a flag on it. You know how random playgrounds, they won't even have the flag's for nothing. It's for looks.
Yeah.
I
And he's
imagine
dancing
him,
I've got a crow.
Yes. And he's like, you sir, do you know where babies come from?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. It's not the stork.
Yeah, apparently it was very vulgar of
Right.
what he was yelling.
I don't think I said it
So
as good as
and
he
I can
did.
imagine all the parents are watching this and they're like, "Oh my god, Johnny!" And they're just yanking their kids up and running off.
I hope someone was like, that's wrong. That's wrong. No. The female does not stick to the male.
Oh yeah, I'd love if one was just like, "Hey, who do you know here?" Otis.
He actually had to fight someone to get to the top of the playground.
Oh, so they're playing King of the Hill.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
Well, I respect it then. If he made it to the top, he deserved to say what he wanted.
If you don't want obscenities yelled at your children, then beat the man, okay? It's that freaking simple. It's that simple, man. Golly. I love Florida. I love the Florida
Dude,
stories.
your guy, did you have a name for this guy? The picture?
It might be that. It might be who Tim Tebow married. He got
Dude,
married
he's
this
got
year.
a peach.
Does
He's
he?
got some tight pants
He does.
on.
Dude. It's those white jeans that make it pop.
Yeah.
Are we sure it's a man too?
I'm not positive.
Something we've got to ask.
Is that a Dwight Schrute on his arm?
No, that is in fact T-bone.
T-bone.
That is what it says.
This is T-bone?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I didn't even notice that. Do you think this is a real guy? This can't be real.
I don't know. I hope it is.
I mean, I do too.
That dude's got a wagon on him.
Yeah. Slim thick. All the right ways. Dude, that's insanity.
Oh, he wanted a party all in the back.
Right. Right. That's bad.
Yeah, let's start talking about
I should have pulled it out. Y'all didn't even get to see the. I'll show. Maybe I'll end with that picture. I don't know. You need to look at it. Look it up. Yeah, I think it was. I just searched Florida man and that popped up. So
I searched May 21st, Florida man.
nice.
And
Just random date.
Otis Ryan.
Love it. Otis Ryan. That dude's gonna live. That picture's gonna live on in my memories forever. That was bad. How many tattoos did he have?
I think it was just.
Do you think it's just one technically?
Yeah, just one like.
Do you think they told him to smile for the picture and he was like,
It was probably just a henna. Like he got painted up just for that moment.
I was like, I got something to do later. Can you put this tattoo on my face?
Yeah.
They'll think I'm crazy if I don't have it. I'm teaching biology later.
Yeah. Oh, Eli's killing me. I'm the king of the hill. I got to get ready for him.
This is a warrior. This is a warrior look. Stupidity.
Stupidity. I got one. I think. You got any?
Yeah, I got Joe Kelly getting 8 games for throwing at Bregman. 8 games in a 60-game schedule.
Which he was probably gonna pitch in maybe one of those. So
Fair. That's fair. That's a good point.
yeah, I mean
that's
when
just
pitchers
stupid.
get like that many games, I'm just like, I mean that's not really doing anything.
But that's but 8 games is, and maybe that's why they knew they could do it.
Dude,
But it's
and
stupid.
I'm on the party like the Astros deserve all of this.
Right.
They cheated baseball and didn't hardly get anything.
No, they didn't get in trouble at all.
I mean, like, and they're like, oh, you know, I mean, you were ruining people's careers.
Yeah.
People were getting blasted and then going to the minors.
Right.
I mean, their salary was just cut.
I mean, I'd do the same thing if I was.
Yeah, I mean, Joe
was Joe
Kelly,
Kelly.
hey, hero. I mean,
Yeah.
just.
The MLB, though, is
But
stupid.
Bregman didn't know that one was coming, did he?
No, I don't think so.
No one banged on the trash can for that one.
No, like, it's going to be a little inside here. Yeah. Just a little bit.
Well, and apparently he, when he struck out Correa, so the Bregman thing, I think there's 2 people on. He struck out Correa, and he was just like, "Nice swing, biatch."
You got him.
Well, and then the bases or the benches cleared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correa got mad that he was like, what I could see from the words like being mouthed, Correa was just like, "Oh, you struck me out, so what?" And he was like, Joe was like, "Yeah, I did."
It's kind of part of it. That's kind of what I'm supposed to do. And
So what? They're so dumb. I hate the Astros so much. They deserve all of it. I don't care. Like, people are just like, well, they shouldn't be throwing at their heads. Who cares?
right.
They got a helmet on. I don't care.
Right.
I mean, I hope nothing happens. But
Don't get too injured. Just get a little,
right, yeah,
get a little banged up.
yeah, they deserve to piss their pants a little bit.
Right. Did you see the Trevor Lawrence TikTok?
I did, yeah.
So it's not Trevor Lawrence, which
It's
is
not him,
disappointing.
yeah. Which is
But if
just
you guys
like-
haven't seen it,
Trevor Lawrence actually commented on it. Did you see?
he was
that?
like, "This is not me." Here it is for those that haven't seen it. It looks just like Trevor Lawrence.
It does.
Like, that's not a female, right?
No, I don't think so. I think he was doing the where the guy dressed as a girl and
Right, but that dude looks just like, everyone said it was, they thought it was that girl that looks like Trevor Lawrence. That's not a woman.
yeah, the bone structure just isn't.
It's just another dude that looks just like Trevor Lawrence. Do you think they did it knowing?
How many people like Trevor Lawrence? That's
That's a
wild.
good question. That's a good question.
yeah. Like there's 3 people that look exactly the same and that we've seen. So there's got to be more.
Statistically speaking, there's a lot more. Yeah,
Right.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
So my stupidity. I had this somewhere. Oh, so it was John Heyman. He's verified. I don't know what he does, but he said Joe Kelly earned every bit of that 8-game suspension. The ball was too close to Bregman's head. Kelly wasn't even on the 2017 Dodgers. Okay, but he played in the major league. It's not just because the Dodgers lost in the World Series. It's because they cheated baseball.
And they didn't just cheat the Dodgers.
Right, yeah.
Did they cheat against the Dodgers? Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't just cheat the Dodgers.
And it's because the if baseball didn't want this to happen, baseball should have punished the Houston Astros.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd probably still get thrown out. But yeah, I still agree, yeah.
Yeah.
You could at least try to avoid it by punishing them.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have any more stupidities?
I have no more stupidities.
I have one more. So Tennessee tweeted out the double stripe pants, and then this one guy tweeted at them and said, "I hope these are old pants that were in the storage and not new ones that Vol football spent unnecessary money on, especially when the upcoming season will be altered or non-existent."
So they can't wear them next year?
Or they couldn't just have like,
Or they could just buy pants because,
right. I mean, do you want them to go out there naked? Like,
probably.
What does this guy want? Also, it's just J-O.
Nice.
So no E.
Yeah, that's interesting.
He's not even silent. It's just not even there.
Not there. Yeah, that's nice.
I'm just like,
It's my favorite kind of Joe.
dude, like,
Joe.
let's try to like want the season.
Why is your concern the money they're spending on their pants? That's my question.
Yeah, it's like
Also,
we're one of the most profitable programs in the country.
Also, if we think pants are unnecessary spending, can we imagine what else he thinks is unnecessary going on over there?
Oh yeah,
Like
like everything.
everything else.
Their housing.
Yeah. Why do they even have doors in the facility? Why waste money on that?
Who needs a shower? They can go to Market Square and get in the sprinkler.
They actually have fountains at Market Square. So
Yeah,
I mean that's an option.
but no soap. I mean, that's unnecessary.
Like Happy Gilmore's caddy.
Yeah. Like, good Lord, let's find something else to get mad about, please.
Right.
That's all I got.
Right. That's all I got too. Last chance? Nope. Okay.
Oh, you want to go last chance? You want to talk about it first?
That's not what I meant.
Oh.
Yes, I do though. Let's talk about Last Chance U because we both already finished it, right?
Yeah.
So we won't spoil it for you. I don't know. Seems like you probably do the same. As soon as the season started and I figured out who the main characters were, I went and looked up where they were at.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's not.
I look at their 247 page. If I don't, then I Google them and see exactly where they were.
Well, a lot of people act like it's like I'm like spoiling a movie for myself. If I followed Hawaii or Washington State, I would have known where they were at anyways because it's real life. It's not a movie.
Right. And it happened last year.
Yeah. So I don't feel like I'm spoiling the ending for me. I'm just finding out where these kids are already gone. It's like, oh, I gotta wait 7 episodes to see where they commit. No. So I looked it up. I don't know. Some people may disagree, but yeah. I mean, my favorite person and athlete so far on Last Chance U. This is the 5th and last season. But they're doing a football or a basketball season.
Which is so dumb in itself.
So okay, I originally thought so, but on the Last Chance Reddit, a lot of people were saying there are really really good JUCO programs in California, and they are usually D1 products coming out of there. So I need to do some more research.
I mean,
They're not.
I guess when we were when Last Chance U, when it first came about, you didn't really hear about JUCOs that. I mean, you heard about them some, but you didn't pay attention to them.
Right. It depended on there. It was very few and far between when you were like, oh, that's a good dude coming out of JUCO.
Yeah. So I don't hate it that. I just think like football is such a better story in anything. Right. They're always better movies.
Whoa, Road to Glory. You know, Road to Glory is not even close to the true story.
Really?
He didn't win till like his 3rd year.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, I love Road to Glory.
Yeah.
I'm kind of pissed that they lied to me.
I'm surprised it's Disney too. It doesn't really seem like a Disney movie, but it is.
Don't they cuss in that movie?
There's some racist stuff.
Almost positive they say the N. I mean, I'm not saying they said the N word like abusively, just because of
it's
the way the movie's based.
Right. Yeah, I just think there's if it was only because like that was the reasoning they're not doing football is because there's no other stories to tell. Okay, they can literally go to any JUCO and it would probably be the same thing.
I don't think that's what he's saying is stories to tell. I think he just means like the story of like redemption, like the outline of the story is the same, is what he means.
I mean,
which is true.
I think now people would buy in every single season though.
I think so too, but this director moves around a lot. So he's done Last Chance U, he's done QB1, and he's done Cheer. He did Cheer.
I don't think I've seen Cheer.
I haven't seen it, but it's about, I think it's a junior college.
I have seen Cheer, yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
So I think he did Cheer too. I think he even did Friday. I think he did Friday Night Lights too. But he moves around a lot. I don't think he wants to get stuck on anything. But the thing I think is different, and I would have liked to see at least one more year at Laney, is Laney's different than EMCC and ICC. Whereas ICC and EMCC, they're like, this is your last chance to go to a college. Like, you've effed up everywhere else. You better figure it out here. Whereas I think the kids at Laney, most of them hadn't messed up. They weren't in trouble. They weren't there because they failed at a school. They were there trying to get out of Oakland. Yeah. Like, it was their last chance to get out of Oakland. Not their last chance to be successful necessarily, but it was their last chance to get out of Oakland.
Yeah, I think the ICC and EMCC, and what made them good is they had guys that people knew about.
Yeah, for sure.
Previously.
And you were going to be able to follow them too.
Yeah.
Almost all of them after.
So you wanted to follow them to their next school. And that was great, but I like this one because it was something different. They were trying to get not only to like most of those ICC and EMCC were trying to get to Power 5 schools.
Right.
They were just trying to get any type of scholarship to get out of Oakland, to get a better life.
A lot of those dudes aren't even necessarily trying to play football. They're just like, I'm playing football. I'm going to go to school and hopefully get to a 4-year school after this and get out of Oakland.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them are like, I know I'm not playing football after this. So I was like, it's a cool, I think it's a different story. Yeah. I don't know if the director maybe going into Laney expected it to be as different as it is.
I would like to see them do like Division II schools, because like some of the stuff that like JUCO, that stuff like working after, right, and working from 8 to 12 and then going home and sleeping, getting up and going to school and practice the next day, like that's real. Like that right. happens at Division II. It's not just junior college.
Yeah,
that's like you don't get that luxury at D1. Like right. D1, you don't like.
I mean, even some
they're treated. Yeah, some of those don't get treated like that. But most people have to pay their own way.
Right.
In Division II, there's not like scholarship. Not everybody's on full scholarship.
Right. I think the fascination about JUCO is that it's so it's high school.
Yeah.
Like it's these guys are trying to. It's high school pretty much. Like your food is federal food. It's not. Because, I mean, even at Carson Newman, you probably ate better than ICC. I don't know about EMCC. I don't remember ever hearing like that being an issue. So
yeah,
I'm
just
not
like
sure.
It was a calf. I mean, it's Airmark who does.
But it's not, it's not some of the food you eat while you're in high school.
Right.
It's not. So I think that's kind of the fascination with like, is that you're like, you have this, so you have what you typically see on ESPN of the FBS schools, and then you have ICC. And it's like, oh. I didn't know there were people playing football like that.
Yeah.
So, which ICC ended up,
I hate it. I didn't hate Independence, but that was definitely my third. I hated Jason Brown.
I hated Jason Brown. I don't understand how some people like it.
Yeah,
and I get the idea of kids. Some kids need to be yelled at. Some kids need to be coached hard. But he treated some of them terrible.
Yeah, and he thought his farts didn't stink, which was like he had all that talent. He had a ton of talent.
Yeah.
Arguably, probably more than EMCC, and he was terrible.
Yeah, and he treated some of his assistant coach terrible too.
Yeah,
which they didn't need it. They didn't need it.
No,
and you still treated them terrible. But and a lot of people are going, well, he'll go, well, there's players that like me, dude. Every coach has players that like him.
Yeah,
I've never met a single team where every player either loves them or every player likes them.
Yeah,
never or hates them. Never.
And with Jason Brown, like everybody was just like, oh, well, he's from Compton, so he just talks like that. Beam was from Oakland. He didn't talk like. I mean, he didn't talk like that all the time. Like Jason Brown
he
does.
still didn't talk like that.
Right.
He cussed, but he didn't just.
It wasn't every breath,
and he didn't absolutely just like berate the kids every chance he got.
Yeah.
And that's what someone was like. I was like, he clearly coaches some kids hard, and then clearly, like with, I'm not gonna say his name right, Diorn, he clearly knows when to coach him hard and when to kind of just cheer him on.
Yeah.
Like he knows when to do that.
Yeah.
And Jason Brown did not have that in him. And
trash.
also, dude, my favorite, if I can find the video, I'd love to play it. That one where he's like, I'm a motivator. I know how to motivate. And then he's like, repeat after me. When I say this, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah. My favorite part of this season was definitely when that kid comes in and he's like, Coach, 36. I just get a whatever number. And then, like, you don't hear from that kid. You don't see him on the field. You don't see 36 at all.
Right. And that's the thing. And I think we talked about it. It happens everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just funny that you got to see a little snippet of it.
36.
Every high school football coach that handed out equipment this week heard that same dang thing.
Oh, yeah. They hated it. Hate it.
36, coach? Yeah, 36. You aren't going to play a snap? You don't need a number.
Ain't nobody going to see it anyway. If they do, it's on somebody else's highlight film.
You got obliterated on special teams. That's what happened to you.
Yeah.
Can we watch the Who Expect video?
Huh?
Can we watch the Who Expect video?
Oh, God, no.
You don't want to watch it?
I do, but not. I don't want to hear Jason Brown.
Who Expect? The dumbest thing ever. You got my back. Yeah, we got the coaches back as we go into this game. Shut the up.
Yeah, why are you the one leading that? Like that.
It sounds.
Him. He wants to be the center of attention all the time.
Dude,
That's what drives
him and Bush Jones are just alike.
Yep, 100%.
I love the "you got my back, I got your back," but a coach doesn't need to be saying it.
You're right, especially the head coach.
Yeah. Or just in one time in it, just say you have their back. Be like, I got your back. Not you got my back. Yeah, coach, we love you. Golly, dude.
Yeah, the freaking number thing kills me because, like, look at Alvin Kamara. He was a third-round pick. He was projected to be the third back and got number 41.
You don't think he likes number 41?
I'm sure he does now because it's one of the best-selling jerseys probably in
Fair.
the NFL.
I'm not buying those jerseys out. They produced a ton of them. Fair.
But yeah, so
but it sucks.
But 41, like that's not a number that a kid in high school wants. But dude, you make your number.
But also, you can't wear a single-digit number as a running back. So maybe that got him to 41 eventually. Yeah, in the NFL, like your numbers are very restricted in the NFL,
right? Which
is stupid. Yeah. I'll never understand that. I get the eligible and ineligible receivers in the offensive line, but that's it. That's the only thing that should be restricted. That's it. Other than that, stupid.
36.
I'm gonna have to watch that scene again and see. I guess I was listening to it. I remember him doing it because I remember when he walked out, he turns to that girl that's like the athletic, whatever she is, administrative assistant or assistant. She's not administrative, but like athletic assistant, and he's like,
first one today.
He's like, it doesn't mean anything. And she's like, it does. He's like, I mean, I know it does, but it doesn't. I love it. I love it.
36.
Yeah, if you don't watch Last Chance U, if you haven't watched any of the seasons, first I would start with the last one because they're not stories, and then I'd go back and watch 1 through 4 because this one, I followed Laney on Twitter and stuff now after this, and then you can keep up with the kids as they go along. But like all the ones from the first 2 seasons are already gone out of college. You saw Ollie if you watched Hard Knocks and didn't watch Last Chance U. You saw Ollie.
Ronald
Ollie on Hard Knocks for a very brief time. He has not grown up since EMCC.
Apparently Emmett Gooden didn't either.
But why was he there? Grades, or was there some other stuff?
I think he originally committed to Tennessee, and then I think it was grades.
Okay.
Because he's from the state of Tennessee.
Right.
And then went to Independence.
Yeah, but yeah, go watch it. I love it. I think it's a great job. And then QB1 comes out in August. I think that's a great little series too. Is Cheer good?
It's all right.
It's Cheer.
I watch. Is it Overtime?
I don't
know. Hold on. I watched one on like a. They have episodes come out kind of weekly with. Yeah, it's Overtime.
What's it on?
It's on Instagram.
Okay.
And so they do like different episodes, and they're following this team, and it's the coach that never punts.
Oh yeah,
always goes for 2, always onside kicks.
Is it?
It's Pulaski.
High school?
Yeah, Pulaski Academy. Okay. Yeah. But it's kind of going through their season last year.
Gotcha.
So I've been keeping up with that. It's pretty good.
Is it Overtime Sports? Is that who's producing it, or is it
it's like
a series called Overtime?
Yeah, it's overtime season is the account, but it's the overtime.
Cool.
Whatever.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty good. The episodes are only like 3 or 4 minutes long.
Right.
But they have a bunch of them.
Yeah, do a whole season. Yeah, cool. Well, guys, appreciate y'all tuning in again for this week. Football's almost back, getting there. Could be moved up a week. We'll see. You'll find out soon. You'll find out when we find out. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. That's all I've got.
Yeah, like and share this. Get it out there a little bit. Appreciate y'all. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.